Alright, so I am not done talking about Super Smash Bros. Quite yet. Because my last video, I actually got, I got mixed reactions to my last video. So I got a lot of people who disagree with what I said and people who actually agree with what I said. So basically, in my last video, I talked about how the next Super Smash Bros. Game should not have any third-party characters and that it should only have first-party characters. Now, I've argued with people, I've argued with other people on other videos besides the one that I uploaded, basically claiming that, well, there's no other first-party characters to add besides Waluigi, because that's the only one people are excited about, and which is really stupid. It's not like Nintendo has to only include characters that people care about. Did anybody care about Simon Belmont before he was added in? I don't think Simon Belmont was relevant at all, but Nintendo added him. And that's a really cool character to play as. So that's just a stupid argument right there. Many of the arguments that I've been seeing are people saying that Super Smash Bros. Is a celebration of all gaming. Or, yeah, it's a celebration of gaming, and that's why it's supposed to include all third-party characters and all characters in general. Well, first of all, Masahiro Sakurai, he only said that about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, okay? That's the only game he said that about. He did not say that about the entire series as a whole. He did not say that about every other Super Smash game that came out previously. Because that's not what Super Smash Bros. Is. What Super Smash Bros. Was, and always will be, would be the celebration of Nintendo characters, Nintendo franchises. That's what it was on the N64 and on the GameCube. Shout out to somebody who, I'm forgetting the name, but somebody pointed out that the Super Smash Bros. Melee on GameCube actually didn't have any third-party characters, apparently. I thought it did, but it didn't. Apparently it was just Nintendo characters. So, we had Super Smash Bros. On the N64, then we had Melee on the GameCube, and they didn't include any third-party characters. It was only Super Smash Bros. Brawl on the Wii that started to incorporate third-party characters, and then of course the 3DS and Wii U Smash Bros. Game did the same thing. Started adding some more characters. Smash Bros. Ultimate is the one that just took it really far, opened up the floodgates, and we just have so many freaking third-party characters. It's ridiculous. There's vast majority of them I have not played as and will not play as. I think maybe I've played as a couple of the Street Fighter guys a few times. Simon Belmont's one that I played as that was fun. But besides that, I stick with playing as first-party Nintendo characters like Little Mac, the Crocodile, King K. Rool, and a few others like that. But anyways, just to debunk that argument, Super Smash Bros. Is not meant to be a celebration of gaming and all video game characters, including ones outside of Nintendo. That is false. They only did that with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate to get it to sell more. Yes, they added some on the Wii U and 3DS Smash game. They did that or whatever, and I guess they were hoping it would sell well. And then they definitely took it very far with Smash Ultimate just to get the game really popular. But they don't have to keep doing that. People are trying to argue with me right now in my last video that if they get rid of third-party characters, they're pretty much, kneecapping themselves. They're basically gonna hurt the sales of the game, and that is complete horseshit, guys. That's not true at all. You guys really seem to think that these third-party characters and crossover games sell very well, or that they're going to contribute to a lot of success, but that's not the case. Because here's the deal, guys. One of you guys made the argument that, well, Steve from Minecraft, he broke the internet when they announced him as a playable character. He broke the internet. All right, first of all, stop caring about the damn internet. The internet, it is not as big as you think, okay? You know what else broke the internet? Mario Kart World being $80. And everyone talking about how they were going to boycott it, drop the price and all that. You remember that? That was like the most trending thing in that during that time last year. When it was revealed that Mario Kart World was going to be $80 and everybody was acting like it was going to fail, no one was going to buy it. Oh, guess what happened? It ended up being the best-selling game on the Switch 2. It still is. It still sells in the top 10 of most charts. So, yeah, let's let's just come back down to earth and remember that breaking the internet or whatever just does not mean shit. The internet, okay, it just does not represent the general population, and people keep forgetting that. So, Steve from Minecraft breaking the internet does not automatically mean that the game was successful because Steve from Minecraft was in the game. Doesn't mean that at all. The game was doing well regardless of Steve from Minecraft, and you know what? I guarantee you a very small fraction of people out there in the world bought the game just because Steve was in it. I mean, I bet like it was probably only like a few 10,000 people maybe who were like, I gotta buy this game because Steve from Minecraft is in it. Now, if you're gonna argue and say, no, you're wrong, well, okay. Let's look at a big crossover game that also has Steve from Minecraft in it. Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Sonic Racing Crossworlds, it not only has fucking Steve in it, it also has SpongeBob in it. Alright? It's got one of the most popular cartoon characters from Nickelodeon in it, and that game did not sell that well. It sold like about 1 million copies, and that's it. Even the developers of that game are disappointed. They flat out said, we are disappointed with the sales of Sonic Racing Crossworlds. So you know what that tells me? That tells me that third-party characters do not have the power that you think they have. You think that they're gonna help sell a game? Well, why did that not happen for Sonic Racing Crossworlds? And hey, guess what? Everybody was raving about it on the internet. Everyone wants to talk about breaking the internet. Well, guess what? Everybody was raving about Steve being in Sonic Racing Crossworlds, SpongeBob being in it. There was some other female character that people were hyping up. Everybody was talking so much about that game. They were talking about how it was gonna be a serious competition for Mario Kart World. That didn't happen. And you know what's funny? You guys think that third-party characters are needed, and third-party characters are gonna sell Smash Bros. And third-party no one's gonna buy the next Super Smash Bros. Game if it's just a bunch of first-party Nintendo characters that most people don't know about or care about. Well, that's funny, because what is the best-selling Nintendo game right now? What is the best-selling Nintendo game ever, and it only has first-party Nintendo characters? Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is the greatest selling video game for Nintendo ever. I think right now, it's like close to it's more than 7 million copies sold. Probably close to 80 million copies. It continues to sell well. You continue to see it selling in some charts. So sometimes it's still in the top 10 of most charts. No third-party characters are in that game. None. There are no third-party characters in that game. And then we look at Mario Kart World, its successor. That game only has first-party characters, and then it's got these first-party, it's got these NPCs or whatever, like Boo and the freaking cow or whatever from Moo Moo Meadows or whatever as a playable character. It does not have a single third-party character, and it is the best-selling game on the Nintendo Switch too. So yeah, I think the evidence shows that, these third-party characters don't really help sell these games like you guys think it does. Super Smash Bros. Sells very well because it's the best fighting game. It's the most fun fighting game. It's accessible to many people, to competitive players and people who are just more casual and they want to have fun. And because it just has, it has great physics in it and everything. It's so the chaotic nature of it. It's just such a damn fun game. And you know what? Nintendo doesn't need any of these stupid ass third-party characters for it to sell. What Nintendo could do is if they introduce a new Super Smash Bros. Game, they could just show off some new first-party characters, right? Like, they don't have to come out and just be like, hey, by the way, this time, no third-party characters, only first-party. Like, they don't have to do it that way. They could just be more subtle with it, just only showing first-party characters and showing, showing that they have their own little story or something like that. That would be awesome. But that's all they would have to do, and keep showing how badass the game is. And you know what? People are going to be interested. Now, there might be a few people out there who are like, oh, where's Cloud? Where's Snake? Where's these third-party characters? Like, fuck them. Nobody cares about them. I guarantee you, Smash is way bigger than these third-party characters. Okay? Again, like I said, freaking Steve from Minecraft, he didn't help the sales of Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, and neither did SpongeBob. So again, what does that tell you? It tells you that the reason Smash sold well is because it's Smash. It's the name, alright? It's a big name. Super Smash Bros. Is that big of a freaking name. It does not need third-party characters. These third-party characters are not the reason it sold well. It's because it's Super Smash Bros. If these third-party characters were the reason for its success, then what happened with Sonic Racing Cross Worlds? You guys explain that one to me. And here's the problem with so many people who they're just hell-bent on wanting to see these third-party characters, or they're truly fans of Nintendo and the Super Smash Bros. Series, and they really think that it won't do as well if they don't have these third-party characters. You guys have the wrong mindset. You're thinking in the short term and not in the long term. Nintendo is a company that thinks in the long term, alright? Putting in these bullshit third-party characters doesn't really do anything for Nintendo. Okay, it's gonna break the internet, you know? Put Master Chief in it, the internet's gonna go crazy. Who cares? Okay, what is that doing for Nintendo and their franchises? All of their franchises taking a damn backseat to these stupid-ass third-party characters that just don't freaking belong and shouldn't be in there. Look, if you want to play as those characters, guess what? Super Smash Bros. Ultimate still exists. You could still play that on your Switch too, you know. We don't need to bring those characters over into the next Super Smash Bros. Game. We just don't. What we need right now, what Nintendo needs to do, and hopefully this is their strategy, this is what they're going to do, is they're going to start promoting their other dormant Nintendo franchises by including characters from those franchises into the game now. F-Zero, you know, their only representation is Captain Falcon. And I think that's so fucking ridiculous. Look at all the badass characters that are in the F-Zero games. Black Shadow, Beastman, Blood Falcon, Mighty Gazelle. I mean, just those few alone. Those are cool-ass characters that I would love to play as in a fighting game. So just imagine if they introduced those characters, and now people are like, oh wow, these characters are so cool and fun to play as. Let me read their bio. What are they all? What's their backstory? Oh wow, that's pretty dark. Man, maybe I should just start playing F-Zero games. Maybe I should get into the franchise. You know, that's what Nintendo needs to do. They need to start doing that. They need to do that with F-Zero, with Punch-Out, with Kid Icarus, Kid Icarus. You know, whatever else is out there that I'm not thinking of. Oh, Kirby. Shoot, Kirby's got a lot of characters that aren't playable yet. You got Pro Wrestling NES, all right? That's an old pro wrestling game that is owned by Nintendo, and it's just been dead and in the grave for, I don't know, 50 years or something, 30 years. It needs to come back. I would say it's been dead for like 40 years or so. But yeah, that's a game that's got some pretty cool characters, some gnarly characters that would be fun to play as. Pokemon, dude. I mean, we got freaking, what's his freaking name? Incineroar. He's one of my favorite characters to play as because he's a pro wrestling character. I can't believe that they didn't add more of those Pokemon type guys. I mean, who's the dude with like 4 arms or whatever, and he's all buff and muscular? Isn't he like that blue dude? He looks like a wrestler too. I mean, add some more Pokemon characters that are similar to those guys. You know, what about Captain Rainbow? I don't know much about Captain Rainbow, but he looks like a cool superhero or something, so that could be a cool character to play as. Guys, there's plenty of first-party Nintendo characters that would be fun to play as. They do not, you know, have to, it doesn't have to be characters that are relevant. You know, people acting like, oh, well, you know, Waluigi is the only one that's got some internet popularity. Again, stop thinking about the internet. Stop, you know, thinking that the internet represents the general population, because it doesn't, okay? Super Smash Bros. Will sell really good alone just based on a name. But I guarantee you, they could have a much bigger and better roster with just first-party characters only. If, you know, that would be a much bigger and better roster. I guarantee you that. If they were to just get rid of all the third-party characters that are in Smash Ultimate right now, replace them with every character that is in F-Zero and Punch-Out, I mean, that's already a much bigger roster. So, that's definitely what Nintendo needs to do. I hope that's what they do. And that's going to be better for Nintendo, in the future when their franchises become more popular because they have characters from those franchises in Super Smash Bros. Not taking a damn backseat to these stupid ass third party characters. Somebody told me that one of the fighters from Tekken who's in Super Smash Bros. Like, they were telling me that there's not a single Tekken game on the Switch. Like, what the hell's going on? Fuck Namco. Don't put any of their stupid characters in your Smash game. They don't deserve to be in it. You know? They don't deserve to be in it. So hopefully Nintendo gets with Masahiro Sakurai and lets them know, hey, you're not going to be putting any of these third-party characters. Put these characters in instead. This is what we want. This is what we want to go for. Make it a celebration of Nintendo franchises instead. That way it's going to get more people interested in these Nintendo IPs instead. So, but you guys, as always, can, let me know what you think about this. Again, just to kind of reiterate some of my arguments here. I mean, the best-selling crossover games from Nintendo are the ones that don't include third-party characters. That would be Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Mario Kart World. And those are selling very well. And if you're going to say, well, and you know what, they sold way more than Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which sold about 30 million. Still good, but the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe game sold way more than that. And if your argument is, well, that's because it's a racing game, it's much different, okay, then what happened with Sonic Racing Cross Worlds? Because that's a crossover game too, and it has Steve from Minecraft, and it has freaking SpongeBob, and that didn't even do anything to bolster its sales. So anyway, so yeah, you guys let me know what you think about this, what you think about my arguments here. Do you still, if you're one of the people who are arguing against me that think that they should still incorporate third-party characters, I'm curious to hear your arguments against what I have to say here. Really am curious to hear that. If you agree with me, well, you probably agree with me even more now. So go ahead and just, leave a comment saying that. So anyways, you guys, I will talk to you all later. Hopefully this changes a lot of minds, because I think people need to stop thinking that third party is going to save Smash Bros. No, Smash is a big enough name now. They don't need to rely on third-party characters anymore. The Mario Kart series doesn't even do it. They don't rely on third-party characters, so why does Smash need to? Anyways, see you guys later, and you all have a good one.